Hey everybody, great to see you. My name is Alejandro Bernard and I teach jazz piano. We are going to be doing lesson 3 on my free beginning jazz course today. I'm going to start with a warm-up and then we're going to begin to tackle the tune Misty. So if you're just tuning in for the first time, make sure to check out my channel for lessons 1 and 2. There's sheet music in the description for free and you can follow along at your own pace, okay? So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so here's our warm-up for today. It's Peace, Peace, written by Bill Evans, and it goes like this. And 1. It should be on the slower side, because after all is a piece of peace. It's very simple. Okay, so that's our warm-up for today. So you can do it with 2 hands, with the left hand just playing the bass notes, G, C, and the right hand playing the chords. Okay, and you can just meditate on that for a while. And just get these chords in your hand. And I like to pedal every other. So 1, 3. So that's why I'll pedal on 1 and 3. Pedal and pedal, pedal. Okay? All right, so you can just, work with that for a little while. If you want to up the difficult difficulty, if that's too easy for you, then you can just do everything with your left hand. Pedal and 1. Okay, so you can just try it with your left hand. It's like a very peaceful stride piano. Okay, and if you want to bump the level even one more higher, you can start to solo with your right hand. So any of the white keys are good when you're soloing, right? Just any of the white keys are good, and then patterns are always just going to sound really nice. You can even do like a fun glissando like that. So you can find different patterns, you can find different, fun little things to mess around with, okay? And if you're a pianist and you study piano, like classical piano, you can do like finger patterns, hand-in studies, whatever. It's all on the white keys, okay? So chew on that for a little bit. That is our warm-up for the day. Okay, all right, so our main course for today is Misty. I'm just going to play you a little bit of my arrangement, and then we're going to break it down. So it goes like this. Okay, and that's as far as we're going to make it today because it's really dense and there's a lot going on, and so I want to kind of use this as a teaching opportunity, okay? So we start with this chord up front, right? Just like we saw in lesson 1. Again, if you're just tuning in for the first time, check out lesson 1. There's a similar item that I teach. So you start with this chord and then a nice roll, right? Of course, with the right notes, but basically all I'm doing is I'm taking this right hand, this G chord, B, D, G, this grip, going up the octave, and same thing with the left hand, just taking this A flat note, up the octave, and then I finally finish with a B flat on top. So you do like this, you can do that, and then finish like that, okay? And even with no pedal. I stole this from Johnny Hartman, John Coltrane, Lush Life. Check it out. At the very beginning, they just do this. Right? That's how they get the song started, with this same, type of chord. Okay? So practice it slowly. Right? It's a great way to impress your friends. So you started with that chord, then there's a caesura, right? Meaning there's a break, then we come in with a melody. So here's our next phrase. Okay, that's just lovely. Let me play that again. Oh, wow, there's a lot going on. So let's talk about the right hand. Right hand has the melody, octaves, And then we're going to end on these 3 notes, this G minor chord. And remember that, G, B flat, D, okay? G minor chord, okay? And so the left hand helps to roll the chord. Okay, and again, since this is a beginner's course, you know, this might be difficult at first. Remember, you want to fan the hand, right? Take your time, fan the hand. I'll show it without any pedal. Right? So your right hand ends up on this chord. So, and you can take all the time you need just to make that really, really beautiful chord. We start from the beginning. Break. Look at me. Oh, that's so nice. Okay, so now we go on to the next phrase. And just a little bit of inner motion there. Okay, so there's a lot going on here, and I think you should practice this section chord by chord. Chord, 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 and then if you want, right, you can add a little tinkle at the end, okay? But to add the extra melody note, you really have to have your hand solid on those grips. Single note, chord, single note, chord, single note, chord, single note, chord. Okay, there's a lot going on there, but it's just a really, really beautiful way to express Misty. So let's take it from the beginning again, see what we got so far. Break. So let's move on to the next part. So it goes a pickup. Play that again a little slower. I guess the octave doesn't really matter. Okay, so you have this chord and then this chord. Okay, so one more time from the beginning. Sounds all like this. Okay, and then we'll pick it up again next week. So thanks so much for tuning in. I'll see you next time. So somebody had asked me, what are my 5 favorite jazz piano books to learn from? And I felt like this is a question that I've been thinking about, and I'm just glad that somebody asked so I could talk about what I feel about just jazz piano books in general. Imagine that there's a book, right? And it says, in this book is everything you'll ever need to know about jazz piano. And it's appropriately priced at like $10,000, right? Because there's everything you need to know about jazz piano in it. And so you know a little bit about jazz piano, and you go out and buy this book because it's cheaper than getting an undergraduate education, right? So you buy this book, you just spend $10,000, you're happy about the purchase, and now you have a book that has everything you need to know about jazz piano. Well, congratulations, you know the same amount about jazz piano, but now you own a book, okay? And that, I know it seems like kind of a boomer kind of point, but again, unless you're able to leverage everything that's in that book, it's really useless to you. And I think like young people who are getting started, I even shouldn't say young people, but people who are getting started with jazz, they feel like, okay, if I buy a book on voicings, if I buy a book on solo piano, if I buy a book on, you know, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, once I own this collection of books, I will have complete resources, thus making me a really complete jazz musician. It does not work that way at all. What you're going to find is that you just spend $350 on some books, and you know the exact same amount. So the leveraging part is so important. So connecting with a private teacher is essential. Listening, making sure you're going into the laboratory, right, where you're just sitting at your piano unguided and trying to just find things out and discover things for yourself. And the problem that musicians run into is that the study of jazz piano is so ambiguous. Like, am I doing the right thing? And what I'm playing, is that jazz? right? And again, that's why having a private teacher is going to be really, really helpful, or some mentor or somebody who can guide you. So they're so much more valuable than having a book. So again, if I was going to recommend any books, I really think you should find a teacher and get with them and see what books they recommend for you, because again, everybody's different. For me, I like transcription works because I'm going to steal those ideas and I'm going to try to incorporate them into my own playing. But yeah, I hope that answers your question. Thank you so much for asking.